Welcome to another trip down the Bourbon Road with your hosts, Jim and Mike. So grab a glass of your favorite bourbon and kick back.
Well, you know who likes to give back to their community is one of our sponsors, Jim. Chris Cruz from Cruz Customs Flags. He does custom flags out of bourbon barrels. Not only does he do that, but he's also using veterans to build those flags with. I've got one right behind me, Jim. I know you got one on your bar. Beautifully handcrafted, repurposing a bourbon barrel, not throwing it away, not making it into smoking chips, making a piece of Americana, right?
Something that'll last probably quite a few years longer than a bourbon barrel would, right?
Not only that, but he's using veterans to build those pieces of art with. You know, you gotta love that. But he's also giving back to his community at all times, helping veterans out like ourselves. He is really in tune to that. Go check his site out, cruzcustomsflags.com. You can buy his flags on there, key holders. Heck, Jim's got some these neat little cups that are charred inside, made out of oak, that you can put a cocktail in.
They call those the whiskey grail, don't they?
Yeah, that is, it kind of reminds you, when you think of a grail, but truly a whiskey grail right there. Go check those out at Cruz Customs Flags. Purchase from this guy, veteran-owned, veteran-operated, making a veteran-built product.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Shannon.
And I'm Mike Hyatt.
This is the Bourbon Road, and today, Mike, it's another Craft Distillery Monday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have a brand we're very familiar with, but definitely something a little out of the box this time.
Yeah, I'm excited about this one.
Yeah.
Now, we've sipped on this bottle a little bit, so we're not drinking out of the neck.
No, we're not drinking out of the neck. We've been sipping on this now for 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say we are pretty familiar with the profile. I think we could talk about it as expertly as we can about any bourbon we try to drink.
Yeah, so this is actually from Old Elk, our good friend up there, old Greg Metz, really famous for his work at MGP and then now at Old Elk. He knows how to lay down some weeded whiskey or weeded bourbon also.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is kind of his blending series, his master blending series. This is called the Double Wheat. Or Double Wheat. This is 107.1 proof, Jim. And it's actually a blend of their straight wheated bourbon and then their wheated whiskey.
And we know from some things put out by the company that even though it's not age stated on the bottle, this is somewhere in the 6 to 8 year old range.
Yeah, so the Old Elk wheated bourbon was 6 years old, and then the Old Elk wheat whiskey is 6, 7, and 8 years old.
Okay.
That wheat whiskey is 71.5% wheat, 25% corn, and 3.5% barley.
So when you take a bourbon and another whiskey, not bourbon, like a wheat whiskey or a rye or anything for that matter, you mix them together, what do you end up with? No longer a bourbon, right?
Yeah, well, you would have a straight American whiskey.
So this is an American whiskey, and the color on it is pretty dark.
It is pretty dark. That 107
Yeah,
proof,
that helps.
You could imagine that anything you're going to keep at that barrel strength probably is going to be pretty dark. I would call this, I don't know, like dark honey.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice and dark for sure.
Well, Mike, I'm ready to taste it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's check it out. Oh man, you know what? It kind of has that buttery yeast roll nose.
Yeah, I could get that.
Yeah, I really like that. Now, I have been sipping on this a couple of days, but I'm just now picking up that note. And what does that say about a whiskey?
Well,
it means it's very interesting, right?
Yeah. I'm getting a little bit of Cracker Jacks in this. You get that peanut, but you also get that dark roasted caramel.
You do. And you know what? I think that buttery caramel that is definitely there. And that's what you get with Cracker Jacks, right? That buttery caramel.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about their mash bill for their wheated bourbon, Jim, for a minute. So their mash bill for their wheated bourbon is a 51% corn. And wait for this, 45% wheat and 4% malted barley.
It's a high wheat.
Now that's rocking it right there.
Yeah, man.
That might be the highest. Right up near the highest. I like it.
Now, these were contract distilled in Indiana for Old Elk. So they got to specify kind of the parameters there just a little bit.
Now, you would think that Greg knows that equipment there pretty dang well. So would you call that contract distilled still? The man that came from there, he probably knows what he's doing.
I mean, when you tell a company that not only do you want bourbon, but you want it made with this recipe, and possibly even told them where you want the cuts made, which yeast to use, that's kind of, you're just buying their equipment at that point and their expertise in producing whiskey.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, if Greg went in there himself and did it, because sometimes that happens, right?
Yeah.
Greg used to work there.
Yeah.
Is there any man that knows the equipment better?
Probably not.
He just said, hey, it's like renting a kitchen
Yeah.
that you used to own yourself.
That's true. I never thought about it that way. You're absolutely right.
The man does know what he's doing. Yeah, I'm still getting that burnt caramel a little bit,
Is it burnt or just toasted?
Not toasted, I guess.
Yeah.
Very beautiful. I get that buttery on there.
Mm-hmm.
A little velvet, I guess.
That's a great nose. It's
Little pepper.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Wow. This is full flavor. I mean, really packed with flavor.
Got that. You do got the Cracker Jack in a glass right here, that oily feeling. You ever ate Cracker Jacks and you look at your fingers and you got all that stickiness on there, that oil and stuff from the roasted peanuts in there and stuff? This is that right here.
You get that wonderful buttery sweetness up front. As it goes back over the palate, it kind of transitions. It goes from being sweet to being a little bit dry on the back end. You get a little bit of that spice back there on the back. Definitely settles in for the hug. I'm going to say the finish is pretty impressive on this. Maybe strong medium.
I was going to say, you're about to say long.
I'm about to say long, but man, it really takes a lot to get long out of me.
Yeah.
It does.
I agree with you. It is that medium, real high medium on this finish. Very beautiful. You get everything you want in a good whiskey with this. You get that a little bit of tobacco, you get a little bit of that black pepper spice, you get a little bit of the leather. But what I'm looking for when I'm drinking a wheated bourbon is I'm looking for some of that sweetness. I'm looking for some of that brown sugar, that sorghum molasses that's been overcooked just a little bit, toasted, like you said.
Yep.
I'm looking for that butteriness. I'm looking for some of those chocolate notes on there. I'm getting all that in this glass.
I'm getting a little coffee. Are you getting chocolate on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm getting a little coffee, and I'm definitely getting the butteriness of it. It's sweet up front. It's kind of drying or bitter on the back a little bit. It's kind of it's playing with both ends. It's kind of hard to do that. That's a balancing act, and that just goes to show the skill that went into making this whiskey right here.
Now, folks, I bought this myself. I'm a sucker for wheat, Jim. It's hard for me to even look past a bottle of wheated bourbon or wheated whiskey and not ponder whether I should buy it. And I don't feel bad for buying this at all. I did pay $100 for it. So 107 proof, 6 to 8 years old. Is it overpriced? I don't know. I felt like it was a fair price because I bought it. I'm a big sucker for wheat. So, and how could I be the wheated king of Kentucky and not have a bottle on my shelf?
Well, absolutely. I think, put it this way, Mike, I don't think you wasted your money.
No, No,
definitely is well spent. Sometimes deep in my heart, I wish I could put a number on a bourbon. Like I give this one a score of 85 out of 100, or I give this one 4 stars out of 5. But we've made it a point not to do that. We either recommend a bourbon or we don't, and we hope to allow our comments to guide people to make their own decisions.
Yeah, I don't think there's a price limit on it for it. I'd like to say that. I do have a price limit. I think we've talked about that for $250, $300. It's going to have to be something spectacular, something really amazing for me. I didn't feel bad at $100 for this. Number one, because it's a wheat. I know what Greg Metz is putting out. It's going to be good. I'm not going to blink an eye at it. It's that right proof, I think. That 107.1 proof is perfect for this. It's nice and oily in the glass. Got some good legs, as most people say.
Man, this is a really good whiskey. I think I want a bottle of this.
It's got a very good chew on it.
Yeah.
It coats your mouth nice and well.
Yeah, it does. It's very buttery, very viscous. It's got a great color to it. This is a sipping whiskey. This is a, it's not overly spicy, but it's got just enough to get your attention.
Now, I'm looking at your shelves over there, Jim, because we're sitting down here in your basement, and I clearly see another bottle of Old Elk over there on the shelf. So I know you love some Old Elk, just like I do.
I do.
Respect Greg for what he's doing out there. You can get yourself in trouble with this bottle right here. I don't think, you could polish the whole bottle of this off.
I was talking about scoring before. Does this get 4 out of 5 Big Chiefs?
This would be 4.5 out of 5 for me.
Big Chiefs.
I call it. We call it 4.5 feathers.
4.5 feathers.
4.5 feathers. Yeah. I love it. I can't say enough about how their bottle design is. Their cap, their cap on here is an actual piece of elkhorn, or synthetic elkhorn, I guess. Got a real cork in it. Really nice bottle. It sells well on a shelf. I can't say enough good things about this thing. It just keeps bringing more character in every sip. Yeah. We sipped this with some friends last night. And I think some people were shocked that I had pulled it out of the bag.
And we sipped this with some other distillers as well.
We did, and they were totally blown away by it.
Yeah, it's really good.
That says something about Greg when another distiller says, "Man, this is amazing."
Yeah.
And there was no surprise that one of the roadies got to sip on this, and he was like, I was a little shocked that you were carrying around a bag of whiskey. He's like, but I wasn't shocked that you pulled out a bag of wheated whiskey from it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Awesome. Well, folks, definitely check out Old Elk. This expression in particular is one you're going to want to check out. Mike, what is this one?
So this is Old Elk Double Wheat. Very hard bottle to find. $99. 107.1 proof. I'm not going to go back through the 2 mash bills. It is a blend of their wheated bourbon and their wheated whiskey. Very, very high wheat in their mash bill, 45%. And then their wheat in their wheated whiskey is 71.5%. So you're getting it right there.
Yeah, 6 to 8 years old.
Yeah.
All right. Well, great. Check out Old Elk. Mike, where can people find us on the internet?
Well, you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. You can find us all those great places. The main place you can find us is on the Bourbon Roadies on Facebook. It's our private Facebook group. 3 easy questions to get in there and become a member is you got to be 21. You got to love bourbon, and you got to agree to play nice, because we don't tolerate any rudeness in that group, whether you drink from the very bottom of the shelf to the very top of that shelf, whatever your top whiskey might be. We want you to come in there and enjoy the whiskey conversations that happen. We want you to post photos in there, post celebrations, just celebrate life without anybody hassling you. If you do that, there's plenty of other groups out there for you. That's not what the Bourbon Roadies are about, but that's where we post a lot of our material. You're always going to find our blog articles in there. You'll be the first to find our gear in there. If we put some gear out, we're actually talking about releasing a new piece of swag for you. So look for that.
Mike, I'm so excited about this upcoming year. We've got a lot of really cool things coming out. We just want to tell people that 2020, the rest of 2022 and 2023 are going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And you want to be paying close attention because there's going to be some opportunities for you to be on that early list. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you definitely want to watch what we're doing. Don't play around and miss out. We actually have an opportunity for roadies to come hang out with us and help us out. So we're going to be at Bourbon on the Banks on October 1st, and we need some help. If you would like a free ticket to Bourbon on the Banks, a free ticket.
Yep.
A ticket's worth $65. We're going to do 3 shifts in our Bourbon Road Lounge to help us do some pours at the Bourbon Roadie bar, and also help us sell some of our swag to kind of relieve that pressure off our wives, and kind of give us some time to go ahead and enjoy the crowd that's going to be there, the other roadies and stuff. So if you want to help out with that, I'm going to put a sign-up list for those 3 shifts, 3 2-hour shifts. That way you get in, you get work 2 hours, and then you get to enjoy the rest of the event there. So you get 4 hours of event.
And if you don't make the list, if you are trying to get on the list and you don't quite make it, we'd still love to have you come out. You go to bourbononthebanks.org and get your tickets, and we'd love to see you there. Well, we do 2 shows every single week. We do a craft distillery episode like today's, where we review a bottle like the Old Elk Double Wheat. We'll tell you what we think about it, whether or not you ought to add it to your bar, whether or not you ought to order a pour of it the next time you belly up. Old Elk, definitely a thumbs up from me.
4.5 feathers.
4.5 feathers from Mike here. So definitely a winner chicken dinner. Definitely want to check us out. Both shows every week, because on Wednesdays we do a full-length episode. We go into detail. We have a guest on. We do a full hour, 2 30-minute halves. Mike, what do they have to do not to miss a single show every week?
What you're going to want to do is you want to scroll on up the top of that app, hit that subscribe sign, that plus sign, that check sign. The app will tell you, hey, these 2 jokers have a show coming out today. Then you want to scroll on down to the very bottom of that app. Hit that 5-star review. Leave us some comments, because you know what's about to happen if you don't. The Wheaty King of Kentucky is going to come to your house with this double wheat. You're going to drink it all night long. Hell, who knows? Even the big bad booty daddy of bourbon might show up to sample some with you. But seriously, those comments, those reviews, they open up doors to distilleries, get great whiskey in our hands like this Old Elk Double Wheat, get great guests on our show, and make great content for you, give you a great podcast. We'd really appreciate it.
And if you bump into Mike or I, if you're at a liquor store, at an event, if we're at a distillery and you bump into us, make sure you say, hey, shake our hand, talk to us a little bit, let us know about your bourbon journey. We'd love to hear it. If you've got a question for us, if you think that there's a distillery in your hometown that's doing it right, if you've got an idea for a bottle that ought to be on the show, make sure you let us know. You can hop onto our website, thebourbonroad.com, go to the Contact Us page, fill it out, quick one-liner, let us know what you're thinking. We'll get back with you. You can always send us an email. I'm Jim at thebourbonroad.com. He's Mike at thebourbonroad.com. But like we always say, probably the best way, just hit up our DMs on Instagram. I'm JShannon63.
I'm Big Bourbon Chief.
And we'll see you down
the Bourbon Road.